So I was just taking a walk, and the concept came up about, I guess I could say about feelings, because it was a question that was posed within. uh, the question was, is the only reason we feel because we think? So, like, I guess that could mean, like, is the only, or is the cause of the specific emotions we feel and stuff, and the specific feelings we feel, simply our thoughts and our perspectives and, our ideas and what we think and how we think. And it feels like there's truth in that idea. I can't say that's the whole truth for certain, but I do believe that, there's truth in that concept, that our feelings stem directly from our thoughts and our perspectives. And I mean, I guess it's kind of obvious now, because, like, the first video on my YouTube channel and a lot of my content already stems from the idea of your perspective being your superpower. Like, the way you perceive your environment would always dictate your actions and emotions. So I guess looking back, it's kind of obvious. But as I was just walking, it was like, I guess I kind of seen it in a different way, or maybe it was just reiterated. But it seems like there's a lot of power that we could tap into with that, because our feelings definitely do affect our thoughts, and apparently our thoughts can definitely affect our feelings. So you can generate a cycle. Like, if you would choose your feelings, then those would inform your thoughts, which would inform your feelings, which would inform your thoughts. Or, vice versa, where if you choose your thoughts, those can inform your feelings, which will inform your thoughts, which, so on and so on. But I guess that's like the simplified version, and the actual application of it is a little bit different, where I guess I could say it's more deliberate. Like, it's got to be done more on purpose, and it would take more willpower, to actually actively, choose your feelings or choose your thoughts. But also, it would take more awareness, where I guess for one, you have to recognize that you are not choosing your feelings, or you're actively choosing your feelings, or you are not actively choosing your thoughts. But that leads me into another point, which is that in this concept, another part of the power that you can access is the idea of having an awareness of your feelings based on your thoughts, or adversely having an awareness of your thoughts based on your feelings. So, like, I guess it would come in where when you catch yourself feeling a certain way, and the key there being, like, when you catch yourself, because you feel stuff constantly, think stuff constantly, but it's the awareness that makes the difference. So, like, when you become aware of yourself feeling a certain way, you can stop and analyze that, and it'll lead you directly to some thoughts you have, with enough seeking out. And the same goes the other way, where you catch yourself thinking a certain way, and you can look into it and sit with those thoughts, or communicate with those thoughts in a way, because you, like, mentally dissecting them and stuff like that, and you'll become aware of certain feelings that you may possess. And so, now thinking about it, that kind of opens up a door to one of the problems of power, just in general, that I perceive, which is the idea of, I could say, knowing or being aware of how much power to use, right? Well, for me, because of my belief in the source force, God, the higher power, the Most High, like, the source of existence or life, or myself, maybe I'll say, being higher than me in that way, from a aspect of me living this life type of thing. Because of that, I've come to recognize, like, there's a balance to the level of control that I would be most effective in exerting. Like, if I try to control everything, I tend to not like the results. Even if I am effective in controlling like everything in the situation, the results are significantly less perfect than the instances where I went more with that flow, or more with that what I call the divine script, where it's like things are in order and certain events take place in a connected way that you as the experiencer don't see while it's happening, but then you can, as they say, connect the dots looking backwards. Like, and I mean, I guess it's like a surprise type of thing maybe, and that's like what gives it a level of pleasure, like a Christmas gift, or like just a sweet surprise type of thing, and maybe that adds to the enjoyment of the experience. But I don't know, I kind of lost my train of thought, but I'm saying like the level of control that you can exert versus the level of control that you should exert. Because with the thoughts and the feelings, if I'm constantly controlling my thoughts and constantly dictating every single thought and constantly like choosing all of my feelings, I know for a fact that would change me, but as I'm like talking about it, I'm not thinking about it, and I can't really see like how exactly, I can't really get an exact picture of how that would change me, so I can't really say at this moment whether I think that would be a good thing or a bad thing to be constantly in control of all my thoughts or all my feelings. But like I said a minute ago, like from my prior experience of living, I could tell you having complete control as a planetary entity operator, as a person on this earth, having complete control isn't always fun, and and with that being said, that isn't to say that having no control is better, right? I mean, what I said earlier, which is that there's a specific balance in that. And so it makes me wonder, how does one go about attaining that balance? And I mean, I guess, automatically the first thing that was dropped in my nugget, first thing that I thought about was you go about learning that balance through experience. So I guess maybe it's just something you live and learn with if you're actively aware of it. Like if you're paying enough attention, you get the return on your investment of understanding, of wisdom. That's what most things, by the way. But like maybe as you live without controlling your thoughts and feelings, and then maybe you go and overcorrect and try to control every thought and every feeling, and then maybe you can kind of walk it backwards and see what fits best. But then again, another experience that most people come to understand is that things constantly change. So that does include levels of balance in certain things. So the balance isn't just like a 80-20. No, it changes. Sometimes it's 60-40. Sometimes it's 50-50. Like the balance can change. So then maybe, I guess, it's more important to have a level of sensitivity to the balance, but also to the effects of your personal cause. Like, and for example, or in this case, it would be your personal cause would be the level of control you're exerting over choosing your thoughts and over choosing your feelings, and then paying attention to the effects that has on your experience. And then I guess that'll tune your sensitivity probably through more experience. Like you'll become aware of the right type of sensitivity you should have to when you're in that situation of controlling your thoughts or controlling your feelings. Man, I'm gonna tell you, just as I think about it and try to speak about it, my feelings automatically kind of just said, like, I don't know, maybe it's like an idea of that's a overwhelming idea to even be thinking about. But I guess it kind of does reflect an idea of having that sensitivity to that balance isn't really something that you necessarily have to be consciously aware of, because there is a subconscious awareness, and that's where being in tune comes in. Or I like to put a connection between being in tune and intuition. So maybe it's all of that ties into an aspect of the way you have that sensitivity and that balance and that other stuff is through being in tune, through your intuition, right? Like, because it's through your intuition that you perceive subconscious information consciously. So maybe it is the case that it would become overwhelming to consciously try to dictate your balance of when should I control my thoughts and when should I control my feelings, when should I not, whereas through constantly tuning your sensitivity and yourself to be aware of your intuition itself, then you can have that intuitive understanding of, let me control my thoughts in this situation, or that intuitive nudge of, let me recognize my feelings in this situation type of thing. And then and honestly, for me personally, there is a big difference from considering a full life of consciously trying to maintain a balance of knowing when to think and feel actively, and a full life of staying in tune with my intuition. Maybe it's just from experience of me seeing the importance of intuition, and also like the application of intuition in my own life. So maybe it just feels easier to me right now, but it definitely is the case that it feels much more natural and simpler and manageable to live the rest of my life pursuing being completely in tune with my intuition constantly, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think at this point the key to using the superpower of controlling what you think and controlling what you feel, and using what you feel to control what you think, and also using what you think to control what you feel, I think the best application of that, or manifestation of that, is directly connected to and powered by your intuition on the level of being most effective type of thing.